We have some breaking news from the NHL. We have yet another busy day of NHL waiver wire activity. We have yet another claim and some more interesting names for the New York Islanders being placed on waivers today. We'll discuss all that coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some more NHL waiver wire activity. Of course, this is fairly fresh breaking news here that the Minnesota Wild have claimed defenseman Travis Dermott on waivers from the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Dermott had appeared in 10 games for the Oilers, hadn't put up any points. We've seen the Oilers pick up a defenseman on waivers just the other day, Alec Regula from the Bruins. We know they're looking at other options, and they do have a decent amount of defensemen in their system. However, Dermott just wasn't quite working out. But the Minnesota Wild find themselves in a bit of a bind here, losing Jake Middleton to injury in the very first shift of last night's game, of course, as they battled the Edmonton Oilers. So, obviously, there was word early in the first period after the injury had happened, because they're already without Jonas Brodin as well. So, with Brodin and Middleton both being out, and they placed Middleton on LTIR today. So, he's going to be out for a minimum of 10 games or 28 days. So, I think it's 24 days, actually. So, clearly, it's an extended time that he's going to be missed. And then Brodin is still going to be out for a little while as well. It was believed that there was reports that the management team were getting together and all kind of huddling into discussing options. And there was no surprise that they were either looking to see if they could make a quick trade or look to the waiver wire, which was, obviously a left shot defenseman. He may not be, an amazing defender, but he's got lots of experience and he can, slide in there and give them some good minutes, more than calling up somebody within their system, and they don't have to give up assets to do it. Doesn't really impact their cap situation. Kind of an easy short-term solution fix while they kind of analyze what to do next. Of course, the Minnesota Wild had a phenomenal run here. They get a little bit embarrassed last night with the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see how that affects them moving forward, but certainly, Dermott's got over 300 NHL games of experience, most of which with the Toronto Maple Leafs, a little bit with, I believe, Arizona, now Edmonton. So certainly, a guy with enough experience that's worth giving it a shot. So he goes to Minnesota. And then, of course, we have two more players on waivers. A couple of, I wouldn't call them like real prominent names, but well-known names with a decent amount of experience. With the Isles here, we've got Pierre Engvall and Oliver Wahlstrom. Now, I know Patrick Waugh, head coach of the Islanders, after their last game against the Blackhawks, even though they technically won the game, he was so frustrated post-game, talking about how poorly they were defending and just a lot of the things that they were doing, even though they won the game. He was still very, very frustrated with a lot of things. So certainly not a big surprise here. We've heard him talk about Engvall before, how he just needs to be better, hasn't really been able to withstand it. He's put up 6 points. He's actually played in 20 games now, where Wahlstrom's got 27 games under his belt and only has 4 points. So, the Islanders are, not having a great season. They're still kind of in that mix. There's a big lump of teams that are, between the wild card spots and, just a few points out. There's a large group of teams in the Eastern Conference kind of clumped together there. So, it's not a given that they're out of the playoffs. I don't know long term without, kind of significant change that they can kind of keep up with it. I think slowly they'll kind of fade out. It's kind of my prediction, but these guys are both players that are just not living up to the hype right now. Obviously Lou Lamoriello gave Engvall a long 7-year deal, not working out. It's turning out to be a very, very bad contract. And in the case of Oliver Wahlstrom, it's not even his contract. It's just the first round pick now. It's been in the system for, what are we at, 5-6 years, whatever it's been now. And he's never really turned out to be the player that they were hoping to be. I'm sure there's a multitude of blame to go around to whether obviously some onus has to be on the player. I'm not sure if the team can really be blamed for any developmental issues or whatnot, but it hasn't worked out. They've given him numerous chances, numerous opportunities. If he gets picked up, then he's obviously done. With the Islanders, I've been saying for about 2 years that this player probably needs a fresh start. I think he needs to go to another organization and just to see if another team can unlock some of those abilities that we saw at the lower levels leading into his draft. Because he was at one point looked upon as being a pure sniper, and it's never panned out in the NHL. So Engvall, Wahlstrom on waivers. We'll find out tomorrow afternoon if they get picked up or not. And, of course, the big pickup for today, Travis Dermott goes from Edmonton to Minnesota. Of course, like I said, no big surprise to see the Wild in on the waiver activity today, given their injury situation that got worse last night. So let me know your thoughts on today's news. I'll be back later with another video to recap all of the rest of the news and rumors around the league today. Stay tuned for that. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.